Hi, Virgos. This is your love reading for the month of February. It is a general reading, so it will not apply to everyone. I am only reading the cards upright for my general readings at this point. I find reversals very, very complicating for general readings. I might build up to it, but at this point, I'm just going to keep that for my personal readings. This reading is for anyone who might be dating someone new and wondering about them, or for Virgos who are committed, who are maybe having some difficulties and need some advice. So, Virgo, your relationship, the status is showing the Hanging Man, and it was clarified with the Prince of Pentacles. So that's the Knight of Pentacles. And what was causing the Hangman is the Seven of Cups. And so I think that this relationship, there's a lot of confusion going on. And I think that that's causing this Hangman energy, because the Hangman is someone, it's like a suspended energy. It can feel like waiting or hanging around. You might wonder if you are in a relationship with this person. It can also talk about sacrificing, that perhaps you were sacrificing more than the other person even. But with clarify with the Knight of Pentacles, I think that this is more about just being in a period of suspension. It's not moving. You're confused. And with the Knight of Pentacles, he's the slowest moving knight. It might even be getting a bit boring and mundane, and you might be trying to find enlightenment, like what is going on with our relationship at this point, or with this person. Now, you are showing up in this relationship. Two cards flew out when I was shuffling for this, and they were the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords. So, Virgo, high level of anxiety. I am a Virgo too, and I know that that can be Virgo's downfall, is the analytical thinking that we can do, and it can get us into some really, really yucky places. What's causing the Eight of Swords is the King of Wands, and what's causing the Nine of Swords is the Moon. So you are perhaps feeling trapped in a relationship with someone who is like the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands, in this scenario, I'm kind of reading him in a reversal position, but they're very charming and I can't talk. Charming and charismatic, very confident, very passionate, and perhaps that's what drew you to this person, but they're causing you a lot of fears right now. You might be feeling trapped in a relationship with one, or you might just be having fears about one. I think it's more about fears about this person, because the Moon is causing the Nine of Swords. So you do not trust this person at this point. You're confused about them and you don't trust them. And the Moon is also a lot of emotion and worry. And it's not looking pretty, Virgo. They are showing up as the Prince of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords. It was clarified with the King of Swords. So I feel like this person is very impulsive. I feel like, especially with the King of Swords, is telling me that they can be very cut off from their emotions, very cold. But this King of Swords is on a horse, and he's got a sword and he's swinging it. So I feel like this person, especially with the Knight of Swords, very sharp-tongued. I feel like this person can cut you down in 2 seconds. I think they know your weak spots. They know what to say. They know how to say it. And there's something, I don't know, kind of mean about this energy that I'm looking at. I think that they can be quite mean sometimes. But that's besides the point. What I asked what was causing the Knight of Swords, and I got the Eight of Wands clarified with the Three of Swords. So again, this person is just constantly on the move. The Knight of Swords, they might have impulsively came into your life, and they might quickly leave your life. That's the type of energy they are. But the Eight of Wands and the Three of Swords are saying they might have a lot of irons in the, I don't know, what's the saying, irons in the pan or something. they might have a lot of stuff going on, because the Three of Swords is telling me about third party stuff. That's what I'm reading in this scenario, because the Eight of Wands is someone who's got everything up in the air. They haven't chosen anything. They haven't, and it would make sense that you're confused in this relationship and in the hangman position, and it would make sense that you are a little bit concerned about what's happening with this person. And I'm wondering if, I could see this better in a personal reading, but I'm actually wondering if you have maybe confronted them before and they came at you, with these swords, and maybe that's why you're at such a high level of anxiety, because you're maybe nervous about the fight. You don't want to fight with them. You don't want to see how the reaction will go. And with the moon, what I've often heard and discovered is that the person, when you're not trusting someone and the moon's around, they'll often give half truths. So it drives you even more crazy, because you have some of it, but you don't have all of it. But they're honest about some aspects of things, and so it just throws you off. And I think that this person might be doing that. Again, I can't say all that in a general, but the energy looks very much like that. I don't see any emotions on your, well, yeah, I think you're emotional, but it's more anxiety in your mind. And this person in the relationship, I think they're just kind of on guard, on attack almost. Like, I don't know. This person looks a little self-righteous, especially in this deck is what I'm seeing. The obstacle in this relationship is, I drew 2 cards, because the first one was the Hermit, which is kind of obvious. Someone is feeling completely alone. Maybe you spend a lot of time alone. Maybe this person says they want to spend a lot of time alone, but that is the obstacle in this relationship. And that's obvious to me. Of course, you're going to be feeling alone if they're behaving like this. So I drew another card and said, what is another obstacle? And I got the High Priestess. So there are things that are going on behind the scenes that you probably are intuitively aware of, but you don't have the evidence to say it's certain. And so that's maybe what's causing this anxiety. Do not mistaken your intuition for anxiety. Although I am seeing it is anxiety at this point. But the interesting thing with these obstacles, the Hermit and the High Priestess, is they're both about trusting and going within. I know this isn't an obstacle position, but just in general, they're about going within to find the answers, because we already know them. And so I'm going to ask you, Virgo, what do you already know that's happening? What do you already know that you don't need evidence? You just know. You don't need this person to verify it. I don't think they would be honest anyways by the way they're showing up. So the obstacle is, yes, that there are secrets. Someone is keeping a lot to themselves. Your best path to follow, or your advice, was the Five of Swords. And I was like, what? Like, how is that advice? Because the Five of Swords is really, like, I would think kind of low vibrational energy. It's very egotistical. It's about, humiliating someone and winning a battle. And I don't like that energy. So I was like, what? Why is this her advice? And I got the Emperor. So then I started narrowing it down, and I was like, okay, well, I should say their advice. I just say her, because I think more females watch these videos. But anywho, the Emperor is about taking, in my opinion, in this reading, it's about taking your power back and really owning that. And I clarified the Five of Swords, and it really helped me narrow it down. The Five of Swords was clarified with the Eight of Cups. And so I think that your best path to follow is to almost not, like, I'm almost reading the Five of Swords in reverse in this case. Like, do not go into battle with this person. It's not worth it. You'd be better to hold on to your pride, dignity, and walk away with the Eight of Cups there. Because the thing with the Five of Swords is you can go in and battle with this person, but is it going to be worth it in the end? Are you going to get what you think you want? I don't think so. So Virgo, stand in your power and walk away from what you're not getting in this relationship. Now, the outcome, or where this relationship is heading, is the Ten of Swords. It was clarified with the Tower. So this is some pretty heavy energy. I think it's going to come to a painful ending, and I think it's those 10 swords, because I think Virgo, you've known for whoever's resonating with this, you've known for a long time that something was going on, but perhaps you didn't trust yourself. And so you might have just kept going and thinking, okay, I'm just hallucinating. And I think that's what makes it so much worse in the end, is because it didn't have to be this painful. You could have gotten out earlier, but there's no point in beating yourself up about it. With the Tower there, this is like a karmic blessing. The Tower will crumble any foundation that's not firm, that's not real. And I think that that's what's going to happen. But I think it's happening. Well, I know that it's happening for you, not to you. And I think that the universe is stepping in because you need some help here. What's causing these energies is the Lovers clarify with the Queen of Wands. So the Lovers in this deck does depict 2 women and 1 man. I think there was, I definitely think there's a third party going on here. And maybe even more than one, but I think that they, with the Queen of Wands coming out, I think that this person might be choosing this person, or that she is the third party. So that could be a Leo, Aries, or a Sag. It doesn't have to be. It could just be a very bold, powerful, confident woman. So, I'm sorry that it's coming to that. I did ask, what can Virgo do to heal from this really painful ending? And I got the 9 of Pentacles. And this might be advice you don't want to hear, but it's such powerful advice, because it's all about learning how to be self-sufficient on your own. Not only financially, but just emotionally. Like, learn how to feel abundant on your own. Because once you get to that spot, you're unbreakable, because yes, you're prone to being hurt again, but you're going to know that with or without a person, you are whole. And I think that's a really powerful piece of advice for some Virgos who are watching this. If you got into a relationship with this person and they completed you, it's not healthy. You need to complete you. And I think with that piece of advice, it maybe is telling me that a lot of Virgos watching this maybe don't want to be alone. They don't like it. They don't want it. They think that I don't know, they just don't like it. And so that is your advice. Now, I drew 2 oracles. The first one was children. Your love life is being affected by children. And the second one was deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. So the first one, children. This can definitely talk about, yes, there are children involved. If you are married to this person and you have children, I can imagine how hard it is to walk away from that. It could be that one of you have children and you've partnered up, and now that's impacting the relationship as well. Like, when children are involved, it always makes it makes it harder, a lot harder for everyone. But another thing this card talks about is maybe someone in the relationship being childish, childhood issues, childhood matters that have not been resolved. So, Virgo, if you are having a hard time letting go of this person, you need to think back to what wounds you're still holding on to, because why are you attracted to this type of person anyway? They don't look very nice. They look kind of vicious. And if they're being childish, like you ask them about something and they just attack you verbally, that's not a healthy relationship either. And then deception, that one's kind of clear. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship, but don't be alarmed, Virgo. It might be you. I feel like most of the time when we are in situations where we are being deceived, the biggest deception we can place is the deception we place upon ourselves. Because if we can't even trust ourselves to keep us clear and in alignment, we got a problem there. And so, yes, I do think this person is being deceptive, but I think the biggest deception, Virgo, is perhaps that you are deceiving yourself. So, again, this advice with the 9 of Pentacles is really good for you in terms of how to heal from this, because if you become the 9 of Pentacles, you won't deceive yourself anymore. You'll be too damn independent. So, Virgo, I hope that that was helpful. I hope that it resonated for some of you. If you have any questions or comments, you could feel free to email me. Or if you would like a reading, you can head over to my website. Thank you for listening.